everybody. My name is Grace with Intero Real Estate, and I am a residential real estate agent in the Silicon Valley, South Bay area. Today, I have Aileen Castillo with me. She is the VP and Managing Officer of the Intero San Carlos office. Good to see you, Aileen. So today, we are gonna do something a little different. We're not gonna talk so much about real estate as you might have expected. But there's another very important topic that I wanted to bring awareness to the community, and it is something that happened to both of us recently. So that's why we're here, and the topic we're going to talk about is a stroke. So I had a stroke about a year and a half ago, and Aileen, let's just, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for being here.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. So Aileen, when did you have your stroke?
I had my stroke very recently, January 7th of this year.
Wow, 2023.
Yes.
January. So it's only been 3 months.
3 months.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, you look great, and I'm glad you're here. You look healthy, and so tell us a little bit, Aileen, what happened when your stroke happened?
I had just returned from vacation with my family, and I was at a hotel with my partner, and we were about ready to go to breakfast, and I was in the restroom, and all of a sudden I lost my balance and my eyesight. I had blurry vision, and I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on here? I need to lay down. So I laid down, and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to sleep this off. I don't know what this is. And coincidentally, minutes after, my sister calls me and says, test yourself for COVID. I just tested positive for COVID, and I had been on vacation with her days prior. And so I thought, okay, this must be COVID. I look it up, blurry vision, dizziness. Okay, I have COVID. So Monday rolls around and I still don't feel good. I'm still needing to hold on to the walls to walk to the restroom or the kitchen area, and I need to call my doctor. I want to check out what this is, and so I call, and they told me to come in and be seen right away in emergency. I didn't know why. I just went to emergency, and next thing you know, I'm being admitted. Still don't know what's going on. And they did an MRI, came to my bedside and said I had a stroke and that I would have to stay in the hospital for about a week for evaluation and tests.
Wow. So was it a blood clot that you had?
They told me it was a clot to the right thalamus, the right side of my brain, which impairs the left motor skills, the left side motor skills.
And which eye had the blurry vision?
It was the left eye.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I could see okay when I'm looking straight. But if I would turn, it was completely blurry, and then I would lose my balance. So I was good straight on, but peripherally, it just became blurry.
But it is amazing because you went on, you almost kept 100% normal function even with the dizziness and the blurry vision for 2 days, right?
Yes.
Wow.
I did.
Wow, but it just wasn't going away. You couldn't sleep it off. That's why you decided to seek help. Yeah.
I could not sleep it off, and the blurry vision was not going away peripherally. So, and also, I didn't feel comfortable driving, so my partner had to drive me, to the hospital.
Was the symptoms progressively worse in those 2 days, or no?
No, it was the same. It was the same symptoms from the minute I had it.
Wow.
So what happened when you had your stroke, Grace?
So Aileen, when my stroke happened, it was a Saturday. I just had brunch, so it wasn't even a particularly stressful day. I had brunch with my friends, and right after we were out looking at a couple of homes, So we're just leisurely walking into this house, and I was talking about this house, or I was pulling up the record. And the next thing I know is my friend walked me out of the house. She was holding my arm and she was walking me out of the house. And at that time, I wasn't sure what was happening. At that time, it was during COVID. We were all wearing masks, and it was a warm, sunny day. I thought, maybe I was a little shortness in breath, or maybe I was just dehydrated, right? So she walked me out of the house and she sat me down on the sidewalk, and I didn't lose consciousness. I actually heard the whole conversation she had with her husband, and she said, Grace is having a stroke, call 911. So that's what happened. And for some reason, I was feeling, if you ask me at that time, I was feeling a little lightheaded, but I wasn't trying to argue with her. I don't know why. I was like, okay, I didn't know what was happening. And then the ambulance came and they took me to Good Sam, and they confirmed that I had a stroke and I had a clot in my right brain. And by the time I get to the ER, they were asking me about, move your hands, and I had 100% paralysis on the left side because it affected I remember at that time I couldn't find my left hand. I kept thinking, okay, if my right hand can touch my left hand and I can locate it where it is, but because all the scanners, everything was doing, they were doing scans on me, I decided to just stay still. But I remember that's how I felt, because I couldn't find my left arm or left hand at the time. So I was very lucky because I was with someone who recognized my symptoms, and they did the right thing. Instead of sending me home to take a nap, they called 911. Afterwards, I asked them, how did you know I was having a stroke? And my symptoms were blurred speech, and also they said I had facial droop. Yeah, but the interesting thing is, Aileen, I couldn't hear my slurred speech. You know how sometimes you were trying to say something, but the words don't come out and you're trying to correct yourself? Mm-hmm. That was how I felt at the time, that I was just, I didn't say something right. I needed to correct myself. That's how I felt. And then I wasn't looking into the mirror, so I couldn't see my facial droop.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't fall. I did not feel the weakness of muscles or loose balance. I did not feel any of that. So that's why it was also something I wasn't expecting, right? Nobody wakes up that morning thinking like, I may have a stroke. And nobody think that way. So it can hit, it hit me very unexpectedly, and it wasn't something I did not have family history. I work out, I don't have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. I sleep well. I thought I managed my stress really well. I work out twice a week, so I try my best to keep up with my health, but it still could happen to me. So I'm sure it was very unexpected to you when it happened, right?
Very unexpected. I too work out. I try to 5 times a week on my rower. I thought I ate healthy. I don't smoke. I don't do anything that would be at risk to my health. Mm-hmm. But unlike you, I do have family history. Mm-hmm. My mom passed away from a stroke. Mm-hmm. My father had bypass surgery. Mm-hmm. So both sides of my family do have heart disease, but I thought I was different. Yeah. I am going to, combat that by a healthy lifestyle, a healthy mindset. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen to me.
Yeah. Aileen, so we were talking about what happened when our stroke happened. Mm-hmm. So I also now want to share a little bit about what happened after, right? So for me, I almost bounced back. I get all my function and sensation within 2 hours because my friend or my client actually got me to the hospital very shortly after it happened. And for your case, you slept on it. 2 days later, you went to the hospital, but you were still functioning quite normally, except blurry vision and some of balance issue, right? One thing I want to talk about, maybe not a lot of people share about this after, and especially after I told people I had a stroke, a lot of people came to me, and many people I found out that are not very comfortable sharing what happened and talking to others about it. So one thing I noticed for myself is physically I bounced back very quickly, but emotionally I went through stages of grief. It's almost like grieving of losing my perfect health that I'm so proud of. And I went through anger, and I actually, maybe for about a month after that, I had the fear of not knowing if this is going to come back anytime, and what's going to happen to my family, what's going to happen if I am in a home needing 24/7 care. So I definitely felt that. And then when I was talking to my mom and my friends, there were times when I was crying. I was very emotional about this. So tell us a little bit how you felt right after your stroke.
So after my stroke, I really didn't want to talk about it with anyone. I was on a mission for this not to happen again. So every single day I would download audiobooks, look things up on YouTube. I felt I need to get a solution to this so it doesn't happen again, and keep a positive mindset, outlook. Okay, I got this. I am going to recuperate from this. It's going to happen. But talking about it to others, a lot of people, have great intentions and they want to help and give love and support, want to visit. But I never wanted to see myself as a victim. I wanted to, get over this,
Right.
educate myself and possibly educate others. But I just didn't want to talk to anyone because I didn't want to see myself as a victim. So,
Yeah. But I think we can turn this, instead of feeling like we are victims, that's why we're doing the videos, because we want to share our experience. There's also part of, I have people come to me that they have family members who had a stroke and actually had long-term impact to their life after. So I feel extremely blessed and grateful that I am at 100%. But hopefully, when we share our knowledge and experience, we can teach others, because we have a platform that we can use. And as realtors, we see so many people all the time, and we work with clients all the time. We can be in a position to spot the symptoms in others if they're having a stroke. And also, because it already happened to us, I am telling all my clients what stroke symptoms are. What if one day when we're working together, they spot the symptoms in me again, if it were to happen again, so they can be in a position to help me. So that's why I am so glad you're here to share your story with us. And it can happen to anybody. So let's just talk about it and share information so that we can all be more prepared.
Yes, I completely agree. I mean, the first thing I did when I came back to my office was share with my team of 38 agents here the stroke symptoms. Be fast. The stroke symptoms, so that if they recognize it within themselves or their clients or their family members, they can act quickly, because like you said, 3 hours. If you catch it and go to the hospital or get the ambulance to pick you up within 3 hours, they can give the dosage of.
Yeah, let's talk about the Be Fast symptoms. So the stroke symptoms, there is an acronym to help us all remember the symptoms of a stroke. So the acronym is Be Fast. So Aileen and I, we're going to talk about, because we actually have the symptoms that are described in this acronym. So the first letter is B. Aileen, what does B stand for?
Okay, so this happened to me. So B is for balance. So if you are feeling a loss of balance or a headache or something where you're not walking normally, that would be B. And E.
The next one is E, yeah. What does E stands for?
E stands for eyes. So if you have blurred vision, anything fuzzy, and it happens all of a sudden, it's definitely a symptom of a stroke.
Okay, great. So for your case, you actually felt a moment that it happened.
It
right?
was instantaneously.
Okay.
At the same time, it just took seconds.
Okay. So for me, it wasn't, I didn't remember a moment that it happened. But the next letter is F. It's for face, it's for facial droop. So I couldn't see it myself because I wasn't looking into the mirror at the time. But the people who were with me said I actually had distinct facial droop on the left side because I lost function to the left side of my body. So F is for face. And the next letter is A, is for arms. So it's for your limbs. So for me, I did not feel it at the time when I was in the house. I did not lose balance, I did not fall, or usually if you lose strength to one side, the person might fall, which is also dangerous. They can hit the head. For me, I did not feel it until I was actually in the hospital, in the ER, that I said, oh, I did not know where my left hand was. So I experienced that. The next letter is S, so it's speech. So that was actually the first thing my clients noticed in me is the slurring of speech. And they noticed it right away. I remember I was at the same word I was trying to say 3 times, and next thing I know, she was walking me out of the house. So the speech could be one thing that was very noticeable. So Aileen, the last letter is T. What does T stand for?
So T is not a symptom. T is if you have any of the symptoms, it's time to call 911 immediately.
Immediately.
If you have even one of the symptoms, it's time to call.
Yeah. When I was at the ER, the doctor told me there are hospitals that are stroke centers, so they are more equipped to handle stroke patients. And my friend who's a doctor told me if there's a stroke patient coming into the hospital, all their screen will have an alert. Stroke patient coming in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And then the cardiologist, I think the neurologist, they will push the scanner to the room, and as soon as the patient gets there, then they have everything they need to do the scan right away. Calling the ambulance is the right thing to do because you would not want to lose more of your balance or function as you were driving. And also you cannot afford to wait in an ER. Right now ER is taking hours and hours before you can be seen. Stroke patients, they told me, needs to be seen right away. Yeah.
Right.
So please remember these letters. Again, the acronym is BFAST. If we all remember it, if we all have it in our mind when we go out and see friends and clients, and someday maybe you'll be in a position to help others or educate your family and friends, and maybe hopefully we don't, but if we ever in that situation again, hopefully someone who is with us know the symptoms because we taught them.
Yes, be fast.
Be fast. Thank you, Aileen.